Why are we here today? We're here. We're here.
Do we actually see each other? Do we see me?
Yes, we see you.
You sure?
You're right there on the screen.
Oh,
I
you
can
see
see
me.
you. Yeah, I can see you perfectly well. So, hey,
We need a prompt. That's how they are. We need a prompt.
I need a teleprompter. I'm gonna have to invest in a teleprompter.
Yeah,
Yes,
teleprompter. And this is all on the teleprompter.
absolutely.
Krondes.
So,
Memphis Rock.
this is Derek Hutchinson reporting for Hollywood News Center. And today, guess who I have with me? I have Miss Ukraine. We are here in the beautiful Laguna Beach, California, where she resides, and it's amazing, and I'm probably never going home. But before I decide to get my sleeping bag, which is the only way I could stay here, we're going to talk to Miss Ukraine, and the subject of the day is this hot news that we've been reporting a lot about, John Krondes. John Krondes is the son of Jimmy Krondes. Jimmy Krondes was a award-winning songwriter who wrote a song called "The End" among a lot of other songs, but one of the songs that you may have heard of is called "The End." It's actually the song that Elvis Presley sang to Priscilla the night they met. So why is this story so important? Why is everyone asking about this John Krondes guy? Well, turns out that CDX Records in Nashville, affiliate of Sony Music, has decided to sign Mr. Krondes. They've decided to re-release this song, "The End," and everyone that we talk to is talking about it. So I'm here to talk about it. And Miss Ukraine is here to talk about it. So she's going to talk about chapter 2, because what we understand from John Krondes is that not only has he gotten all the original band members together, and he's gotten the TCB band together. If you know your history, you know that those are band members who all played with Elvis. John's gotten all those guys together, and they're going to re-release new music after like 30 years. I think Elvis died in 1977. So after all this time, Mr. Krondes, who I'm told has never said he sings like Elvis, moves like Elvis, or any of that other stuff, but he sings with the voice that God gave him, which I think is an amazing quote. He actually told me that. So we're going to talk to Miss Ukraine here, and she's going to talk about chapter 2 of the John Krondes story. Miss Ukraine, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm being so rude. Miss Ukraine actually has a name. Her name is Natalia. Please formally introduce yourself.
Hi, Derek.
Hi, Natalia.
Very nice to meet you, and you're absolutely welcome to stay in Laguna Beach. This patio is large, so you can bring your sleeping bag.
Okay.
I will not call the police today. I will just call the police tomorrow morning.
Got it. Got it.
You have about 8 hours to sleep in.
Got it. I'm good. If I can stay that long.
And hi, my name is Natalia Katsalap, and I was representing Ukraine in 2021, an international beauty pageant of Virgilia production. And I'm actually currently holding a title of first runner-up for Miss Europe Global. And absolutely,
That means you're worldwide now.
worldwide.
See, so not just Miss Ukraine, but global now. Miss Global.
Yes, Miss Europe Global.
Miss Europe Global. Okay. So for us people who don't know the map, Europe would be that big piece of land on the other side of the ocean from the United States. Because, they only teach us U.S. history here. Did you know that? We have to take special classes to learn about the rest of the world.
I think the best way to learn the world and geography is actually travel. Because I remember when I was at school and stand in front of the World War map and trying to find a city on that map, I was lost. But the minute I start traveling, I got things in perspective. So if you want to learn geography, travel.
And I learned the hard way by going, just over the border to Mexico, that they won't speak your language when you go down to these other countries. So you actually have to learn how to communicate, which is also educational too, if you're going to travel and actually make it back.
Well, English, I think, is one of the languages that has the coverage in the most of the world. So if you speak English, you good in 40, 45
I
percentage
believe
of
that
the
about
world.
Mexico, but they do not try to help you communicate. I think they're laughing inside when we can't speak to them. Miss Ukraine, by the way, taught me a tradition, and we're having a little wine, we're having a little cheese, and I understand that Ukrainian culture kind of dictates that they're kind and they're hospitable. So I'm feeling very kind, very hospitable. And I normally don't work at night, but this is evening. We're at the beach. I'm all about it. I can't wait till we interview her again. So I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were saying?
You didn't, you said about, I taught you about the tradition, but you didn't mention the tradition.
Oh, the tradition is that they have to feed us. So that's why I'm coming back with my sleeping bag again.
Well, Ukrainian in our culture, we're just very hospitable people. We want to make sure that our guests are comfortable and they're fed because it's good luck. We feed you, you're going to become, open-hearted towards us, and that's good.
It's very good. So I know that you spoke to John Krondes on the phone.
I did.
And he probably made you smile like he makes me smile when I talk to him on the phone. Did you get the feeling that something big is going to happen?
Well, John has a very big energy, has very big presence on the phone. It was the first time I ever met him was over the phone when he was telling me more about the songs, that exciting news with CDX Records, and everything that's the new album being released, the movie about Elvis Presley, the song The End, his dad, Jimmy, who wrote that song, and the connection between his family and Elvis Presley and his wife Priscilla. And it was a beautiful story, and yes, John, so many years later, is still keeping that sacred connection with the Presley's family because of that song connecting them and their love story with Elvis Presley and Priscilla. That's just the way he talks about it. It just takes you right in the 1959 when that first date happened and when Elvis Presley sent that song to Priscilla. And I'm personally, a lot of things is happening in the world, and we make lots of choices on a daily basis. And at the end of the day, I consider myself being a romantic. And I believe in true love and believe in love from the first sight. And that song, when I listen to it, I can see how that song can captivate a woman's life when a man who you're attracted to singing it to you. So I see the deep connection between John, Elvis Presley, and Priscilla, and those words that John's father Jim put in that song and his heart.
And, well, he's also saying that for all the fans who are out there, while there may be... By the way, did I mention he's got 890,000, almost 900,000 fans following him now on Instagram. So he's got people hungry, waiting for this release that's supposed to happen, as I understand, very soon, within the next couple of weeks, right in time for the release of the new Elvis movie.
Yes.
And so the fans are going to be hungry for new Elvis-ish sounding stuff, and John's got 100 songs.
You know what? When you say the fans will be hungry for more, for me, when I think about Elvis, when I think about his songs, about everything he brought to this world and legacy he left behind, I don't think about that as a past. I think about it's a stepping stone for where we at, but it's still a present, because every time I listen to his music, it just takes me to a parallel universe of the universe where he is alive and he brings his light into this world. I feel it. I feel he was such a performer. He was such a great presence and great entertainer.
Hmm.
that I think if you ever seeing him perform, it's going to be one of those things you will never forget.
Hmm.
So I'm very excited about the movie. I think you told me that Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks is going to be playing Elvis's manager, the guy who signed him. I think his name is the Colonel. Uh, um, Funny you should bring up the universe,
Uh
though.
huh.
There's actually a psychic, John Cohen,
Okay.
a very famous psychic who maybe some of you have heard of him. He's been a psychic to the stars for many, many years. And he swears to God and every other star that there is that John and Elvis are connected. And this whole thing is all written in the stars, that the way that we are going to receive this light that you were talking
Mm-hmm.
about is through John bringing this genre of music back to the young people. Because a lot of us are used to, we used to, what we used to doing. So we're not necessarily used to the whole Elvis thing. But the reality is all the stuff you see on stage right now from these young people, the girls think they're twerking and the guys think they're moving, that was Elvis first. Elvis got on the stage, and when he started to dance, there used to be a show back when I was young called Ed Sullivan. They would not show Elvis below his chest because of the way that he moved his hips.
Ooh,
They
they didn't want to see it swing.
Yes, and as I understand it, they're going to show all this in the movie. So it's a very controversial time in our lives. Back in the '60s, things were not as relaxed as they are now. So for John to be able to reach these younger people and say, "Hey, here's where the roots are. This is where this thing happened. This is where it came from," and I have 100 songs, that are written by myself and written by my dad, Jimmy, and I've got the Jordanaires, and I've got the TCB band
Mm-hmm.
for Sony Records and CDX
CDX.
Records and Sony Music to step up and put this in a forefront is pretty much an amazing thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to it.
So was I. You. Every time you talk, you speak about it, I'm just getting so more and more intrigued.
Well, I mean, it's John actually. When you talk to him, it's just he's so fired up about it. He's very excited, and as anybody would be. I mean, if I were to get signed by a record label and Sony Music, I think I'd probably have a little bit of a personality, a little pep in my step.
Pep in your
Yeah, a little
step.
pep in my
Yes, pep
step.
in your step, definitely.
So, as I understand, the movie is set to release June 20 something, 28 or something. Don't quote me.
Mm-hmm.
The album, John Krondes, the new release is supposed to drop somewhere around that same time. So the clients will get a feel of the new, they'll get a feel of the old, they'll be able to blend the two and be able to personally relate because John is the light and he's bringing it to us. That's what's going to happen.
I'm excited.
You excited?
I'm very excited.
I'm
I want to
excited
see
too.
that song in a new light.
Yeah, and he's got a few songs, to quote John, with screaming guitars. So I gotta hear screaming guitars.
And we need some new romance in our music.
Yeah.
We need something to give us the hope
Yeah,
for the true love from the first sight.
all that.
Something I think that's missing in our current lyrics.
That is true. That is true. Our lyrics now, back when I was growing up, I'm about 21 years old, but back when I was growing up, a lot of the songs were about love and first sight of love, and I think we've lost sight of that because we spend so much time trying to work and so much time trying to take care of ourselves and trying to beat the hustle that we've kind of lost the love song.
Mm-hmm.
So for a song like The End, which references the end of the rainbow and still being with you, and everything is going to be fine, it's going to be good till the very end. I mean, that's a song that you want to hear more of, and you want to hear more songs like that. And did I mention John's got 100 songs?
Yes, you did.
He's got
For this
100
songs.
songs. So we could be hearing John Krondes for quite a while if we're paying attention. So you guys are going to need to pay attention. Me and Natalia are going to pay attention. We'll see how this goes.
I'm tuned in.
I'm tuned in too. You tune in next.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming out.
End of a rainbow, you'll find a pot of gold. At the end of a story, you'll find it's all